Okay, I've done a partial introduction, but I'm going to repeat myself because he's worth it. Our next artist is Daniel Sutliff. Like I said earlier, he's just an all-around, really creative person. He can do everything, and it's interesting to see how he puts it all together, from his art making to his music making to his directing, and there's not much else to say other than here's Daniel.
Thanks. My name is Daniel Sutliff. I'm a local artist musician. This is my band. It's called In There Stand Empires. Everybody always says stands empires, but it's actually stand empires. This is us at Free Tulsa last year. It's a two-bass, piano, drums, guitar. It's instrumental music. It's like inspired by a lot of modern classical music, but I don't know, it's kind of putting too much of an onus on it, really. It's just, yeah, it's what it is. But we've been a band for about 10 years. This is our album. It came out last year. This is a collage that I made. It looks like something from Monty Python when I look at it now, but it's a cover of our record, and there's no real correlation. It was just an image that everybody liked, and they were kind of like, let's use that. So we just kind of cleaned it up, and I also do my own solo music, and it's electronic music, and I make video and stuff to go with it. That was loud. But this is actually here, I think, and I project it behind me when I play, because it's kind of boring to just stand there and watch me play. It's all electronic music that I program, and the video stuff is just a lot of elaborate editing and stuff of footage that I found and gleaned from the internet and things. This is a cassette my friend Dylan put out and stuff earlier this year. That's also based on a collage that I made. I like the idea of putting it out on a cassette, one, because it's way cheaper, people can download it online anyway, but I like the format. It's kind of an analog format for this kind of Nintendo-sounding kind of music. The next few are a couple of collages that I made using old National Geographics, and I like obscuring faces and kind of creating alien landscapes. I know it's hard to really exactly describe what I'm trying to do. It just kind of feels correct. I like using collages for that medium. It kind of tells you what to do, and then it's kind of, it just looks correct at some point you're done. So you're kind of discovering it while you're making it, as opposed to drawing it out like some of the other stuff I do. These next three are paintings that I do. These are pretty large. They're not quite as big as this. They're about, I don't know, a little less than half of the size of this. These are based on drawings that I made for a book that I did last year it's a coloring book. So these are line drawings that I project and trace on, and the colors are a little bit, in the resolution are a little weird, but I like using a lot of bright, crazy colors. I like the energy behind that. I'm really inspired by a lot of cartoon imagery and things like that, and I wanted to do a book that has some kind of symmetrical concept to it. These are all mirror drawings, so that's why they're so symmetrical. I would draw one side, trace it onto the other, and that's kind of the theme of the book. That one's really red. It's not quite that red in real life, but these are just random characters that kind of developed, and they come from my love of things like old school Nintendo and original NES Nintendo graphics and the kind of worlds that those game creators made. And so it kind of comes from that place, and like I said, cartoons, and I'm really into that kind of wild craziness of that kind of universe that people create, and comics and things like that. These next couple are some portrait paintings I did. They're kind of like, I'm also really into like sci-fi imagery, especially like old, Doctor Who kind of minimalist. I love stuff that just looks really crappy, but they used it anyway because they didn't have money to do or whatever. I love the way that stuff looks, and it's really amazing to me, just because of the crudeness of it and kind of the inventiveness of it and the kind of just style behind it. These are done with paper. These are all bits cut out. They're kind of minimalist sketches of these kind of strange alien characters that come from somewhere, I don't know. But this is another one on paper. It's about a quarter the size of that. But I like using paper because of its consistency of color. I like the kind of brightness of it. You're always going to get, it's different than painting in that respect. I like the geometric simplicity of these shapes. There's kind of a power to that that I really enjoy looking at. It's really stimulating to me. These are word forms I made. This is also another piece on paper that it's about the real piece about, now it's way smaller than that. Anyway, But it's two words that I've lined up and then cut up and rearranged the section so they kind of create a spontaneous sort of alien language, and I like the texture of that way that works. This is, well, you know who this is, but this is Link from Zelda. Nintendo's a huge influence on everything that I do. Not like everything I do, but I really like it a lot. And this is also done with paper. I like it, it's kind of like a mosaic. You kind of get the pattern ready and then you cut out the pieces and put it together. It's like, I love art that's really simple, that doesn't involve, I love the other stuff too, but I love stuff that's kind of mechanical in that sense. These are some pages from the book I was talking about. These are a couple of the characters that you've seen in those drawings. Again, it's a symmetrical thing. I was really into that kind of idea. And this kind of furry slime stuff, I just like the texture of it. I wish I had added some shading in now that I look at it, but I'm working on another book. So this is kind of a smaller format book, but that's kind of the, I've just always been into drawing since I was a little kid. This is a length that I've made. I really love corrugated foam. It's like really amazing me. Like I have to like stop myself from grabbing it every time I see it in the garbage or whatever. But I used to go to the dumpster at Pottery Barn. They've gotten a lot of really good corrugated foam. But then I sent this guy out one time. I guess you're not supposed to do that, but even though they're throwing it away anyway. But I used to raid their dumpster. This is a mask I made. It's kind of hard to see. It's on the right side of the frame. And I've just recently kind of got into sewing, and I've been working on fabric as a medium. I started drawing my own shirts and things like that, and drawing things on t-shirts. But the sewing was kind of crude. It was like the first thing I ever did. So this is a page from my new book that I'm working on, and the kind of theme of it is centered around this one main character, this kind of wizard guy in the middle. I'm not sure what it's all about, but he's kind of the center of it all. And so that's kind of what I'm talking about. That's my really
You